The biblical story of Daniel is found in the book of Daniel in the Old Testament. It follows Daniel, a Jewish exile in Babylon, who rises to prominence due to his wisdom, faith, and ability to interpret dreams and visions. Here's a full retelling. The story of Daniel. First Daniel in Babylon. During the reign of King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, the Babylonians conquered Jerusalem and took many Israelites into exile. Among them was a young nobleman named Daniel, along with his 3 friends, Hananiah, Shadrach, Mishael, Meshach, and Azariah, Abednego. The king ordered that promising young men be trained in the ways of the Babylonians. However, Daniel and his friends refused to eat the king's rich food and wine, choosing instead to eat only vegetables and drink water. After 10 days, they appeared healthier than the others. Because of their wisdom and knowledge, they were chosen to serve in the king's court. Second, Daniel interprets Nebuchadnezzar's dream. King Nebuchadnezzar had a troubling dream that none of his wise men could interpret. He demanded that someone not only interpret the dream, but also tell him what the dream was, or else all his wise men would be executed. Daniel prayed, and God revealed the dream and its meaning to him. He told the king that he had dreamed of a giant statue with a head of gold, chest of silver, belly of bronze, legs of iron, and feet of iron mixed with clay. Daniel explained that the statue represented different kingdoms, with Babylon, gold, being the first, followed by weaker kingdoms until a final kingdom, God's kingdom, would crush them all and reign forever. Nebuchadnezzar was amazed and promoted Daniel to a high position in the kingdom. Third, the fiery furnace. Nebuchadnezzar later built a golden statue and commanded everyone to worship it. Daniel's friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, refused. The king had them thrown into a blazing furnace. But when he looked inside, he saw 4 men walking unharmed in the fire, and the 4th looked like a divine being, often believed to be an angel or a pre-incarnate appearance of Christ. The 3 men came out unscathed, and Nebuchadnezzar praised their God. Fourth, the writing on the wall. Years later, King Belshazzar, Nebuchadnezzar's successor, held a great feast and used the sacred cups from the Temple of Jerusalem to drink wine and praise false gods. Suddenly, a mysterious hand appeared and wrote on the wall, "Mene, mene, tekel, parsin." Belshazzar was terrified, and no one could interpret the writing. Daniel was summoned and explained, "Men, God has numbered your kingdom's days. Tekel, you have been weighed and found lacking. Parsin, your kingdom will be divided and given to the Medes and Persians." That very night, Belshazzar was killed and the Persians took over Babylon. Fifth, Daniel in the lion's den. Under the new ruler, King Darius, Daniel continued to rise in power. However, jealous officials tricked the king into signing a law that forbade praying to any god except the king for 30 days. Daniel, remaining faithful, prayed openly to God. As punishment, he was thrown into a den of hungry lions. However, God sent an angel to shut the lions' mouths, and Daniel was unharmed. The next morning, the king rejoiced and had the wicked officials thrown into the lions' den, where they were devoured. Darius then declared that Daniel's God was the true and living God. Sixth, Daniel's visions of the future. Daniel received many prophetic visions, including the 4 beasts, representing future kingdoms, Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome, the ram and the goat, predicting the rise of Greece, Alexander the Great and its division, the 70 weeks, a prophecy about the coming of the Messiah and the end times. These visions foretold events that would shape world history and the coming of God's eternal kingdom. Conclusion. Daniel's story is one of faith, courage, and divine wisdom. He remained faithful to God despite exile, persecution, and threats to his life. His prophecies also provide insight into God's plan for the future.